Welcome back to We Are Already Free, the podcast where we help those beautiful, highly sensitive misfits to remember how rad they actually are. And I'm one of them, so I know how tough that path can be, and I also know that it's worth it because we're actually the people who bring the color, light, magic, and beauty back into the world. So if you're listening to this, then you're probably my person, and thank you for being here. Welcome to 2024. I know it's just a number on a Gregorian calendar created by Romans back in the day, and it doesn't have that much bearing on the cycles of nature, but it is a solar return, and I do think there's something beautiful about acknowledging that together we all celebrate this ending and beginning of the year. So you may have noticed, if you are a long-time listener, that I didn't release an episode. Maybe I think it was the last one. I missed one. But I wasn't missing it. I was meant to release this episode that I'm doing now to say that I'm taking a bit of a break. So we have ended season 2 of the podcast. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And we're going to begin season 3 very soon. And we have awesome, exciting, fantastic things coming. Such cool guests, such great transformations. And just more epicness to help us all to remember that we are already free. And it's wild. Often people ask me when I say that name, they're like, but do you believe really that are you already free? And I said, well, like any mantra in life, do you expect the mantra to always feel true for you? Or do you use the mantra as a way to remind you of what you know is true, but you don't always remember? To me, we are already free is one of those. Just as the line, I am this breath, or we are the medicine, or, all those kinds of things. Obviously, Om Shanti Om, just like peace, bro. So for me, this podcast and these guests are all reminders that we are already free. And sometimes we've forgotten that. And that's why I do my coaching work. That's why I do breath work. That's why I sit with plant medicines. That's why I show up in the world in the way that I do, is because I also have spent a huge amount of my life thinking I wasn't free. And in fact, to the point that I wanted to take my own life when I felt like that was the only freedom I had left. And I'm really grateful that I get to show up in the world now. As Ramdas says, we are all walking each other home. And now my way of walking home with you is to support those of you who are blocked and stuck. You probably have come to a place where you realize, I need change. I want more out of my relationships. I want more purpose. I want to live more aligned. I want a better job that feels more aligned with the way I want the world to be, etc., etc. And knowing that isn't necessarily enough, unfortunately, if only it was. Knowing that's great, but it can also be like, well, I'm stuck. What do I do? Which way do I turn? So then overwhelm, lack of clarity, all those kinds of things. And that's why I help people, because I know how it feels. So I want to share with you, if you are listening to this for the first time, I doubt you'd still be listening to this episode because there's way better ones you can go and listen to. Like we had Dr. Nicole LaPera last year, the holistic psychologist, on for her second time on the podcast, all about how to be the love you seek. That was around relationships. She's a phenomenal human. I love her. And I could just rattle off every name of every guest because they're all amazing. So I recommend you go to alreadyfree.me and listen to the past episodes. We will be relaunching again sometime in Feb. It may take a bit of time. Things are going to be a little up and down, in and out, but I'm here, I'm in, I'm getting married. So that's not something I'm really spreading the word about too much out there on the interwebs. I know that's the thing these days, like sharing all about our lives, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. But for now, just know I'm getting married in Feb. It's also my 40th birthday in Feb. I'm going to be sitting with a beautiful plant medicine in Feb as well to celebrate my 40th and to prepare for the wedding. So yeah, lots of big things happening. And what I want to share with you now, which I'm so excited about, is the guests who are coming up. So we have already booked in. I'm going to be recording them soon. I've actually recorded 2 already. One with this amazing woman I met over the New Year's festival, the Thrive Festival, that I was the master of ceremonies for. I also shared music and songs and stories, all those wonderful things. And I met this wonderful woman there, Dr. Sarah Marilene Jesus, and she is incredible. She's running really cool retreats in Angola, helping people to heal themselves through returning to eating meat. And just saying that doesn't really give the depth of what the journey she has been on with autoimmune illnesses and really coming close to death before she turned it around and now helps others do the same. So we recorded an episode. I also have Brad Axelrad, which is such a cool name. I recorded a very vulnerable, very beautiful episode with him last year. He's a coach and he helps people overcome the 5 dragons, which I won't go into more, but you'll be hearing that episode pretty soon. And actually, when we recorded, he just was going through a deeply emotional and vulnerable time, and he really shared openly about that on the podcast. It was really profound, and I know anyone listening will get inspired to be more vulnerable, be more open and authentic as well. Funnily enough, we also have another Bradley, a guy who, when you see it, he had the worst eczema I have ever seen, like his whole life, to the point of open wounds on his body. And he also healed himself through lifestyle and diet, through meat, through giving himself the nourishment he needed. We've also got Pavel, who, again, another person really struggled with addiction at times, etc. Now runs a beautiful global organization helping people have breath work and transformation. We have another friend of mine, a newish friend I haven't met in person yet, but Rain Dunn, who herself went through a huge process around beauty and the beauty standards of what it means to be a woman, etc. And her story is profound and will have a deep impact. We have Carly Beaudry. I actually don't know how to say her surname yet, but she does incredible work helping women to reconnect to their wombs and empower themselves through these incredible reproductive organs that so many people are so disconnected from. And I think that conversation is going to be very challenging for many, but also so important. We also have Nessie Gomes. I don't know if you've heard her music, but she is one of my favorite musicians. Her conscious medicine music is just phenomenal. So those are just some of the guests we have coming up in the next few months. So the podcast is off to a great start, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I'm happy to be me with you. I love being here. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Just feeling it all, feeling the ups, the downs, the in-betweens, and excited. So I'd love to hear from you. As always, if you are a listener to this podcast, thank you for being here. I would be so curious to know what is unfolding in your life right now. You can always message me via the website. Just go to alreadyfree.me. You'll find easy ways to message, or find me on Instagram. It's just at Nathan Maingard, and that's Maingard, if you didn't know. And there's no U in guard, in my surname at least. So that's it. I just wanted to check in with you and say thank you for a beautiful growth and expansion in 2023. If you are listening to this and you are one of my clients, one of the people I worked with in 2023, thank you for the honor of your time, for the value, for the experience. It just really was an absolute pleasure to witness your transformations, to write heart songs for you, to witness you blossoming into the fullness of the glorious weirdo that you are, and to realize how everyone is weird and how cool it is to be the weirdo you were born to be. So I look forward to working with, hopefully, some of you who are listening now this year, if you have need of my services. But for now, I just want to really wish you the most glorious, glorious year. And please do reach out. And I will see you again for the podcast episode starting up in Feb. And just wishing you all the best on your path. And as always, for now, please remember, we are already free.